If you're over 40 and sometimes catch yourself in the mirror thinking, when did I start looking like my dad? You're not alone. That moment when you realize the clothes that worked in your 30s aren't doing you any favors anymore, every man over 40 has been there. Here's the thing though, the fact that you're watching this video means you care about how you present yourself to the world. And that already puts you ahead of most men your age who've just given up trying. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 10 most common style mistakes that are quietly aging you. Mistakes that even well-dressed men make without realizing it. These aren't about buying expensive clothes or following teenage trends. They're subtle shifts that can instantly make you look sharper, more confident, and yes, younger. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to adjust to look like the best version of yourself. Let's dive in. Mistake number 1. Wearing clothes that are too big. Here's something most men never think about. Your body has changed since you were 30, but probably not in the way you think. Sure, maybe you've gained a few pounds around the middle, but here's what's really happening. Your shoulders might be slightly rounder, your posture has shifted, and the way fabric sits on your frame is different. The instinct is to hide behind bigger clothes, looser shirts, roomier pants, oversized jackets, anything to camouflage what you think are problem areas. But here's the truth that every well-dressed man over 40 quietly understands. Clothes that are too big don't hide anything. They actually make you look bigger, older, and less put together. Think about it this way. When you see a man in a well-fitted suit versus one drowning in fabric, who looks more confident? Who looks more successful? The fit makes all the difference. The fix is simpler than you think. Your clothes should follow your body's natural lines without being tight. A shirt should skim your torso, not tent over it. Pants should sit comfortably at your waist without bunching or pooling. And here's a secret. Sometimes going down one size in the body and having the sleeves or length adjusted can completely transform how an outfit looks on you. You don't need a complete wardrobe overhaul. Start with one well-fitted piece, maybe a jacket or a quality button-down, and notice how differently people respond to you. It's subtle, but you'll feel the difference immediately. But even if you get the fit perfect, there's another mistake that can instantly age your entire look. Mistake number 2. Ignoring your neckline. Most men focus on their shirt, their pants, their shoes, but they completely ignore what's happening right under their chin. And that's a problem, because your neckline is one of the first things people notice when they look at you. Here's what I see constantly. Men over 40 wearing crew necks that sit too high, or V-necks that plunge too deep. Both make you look older, but for different reasons. The high crew neck creates this visual weight around your neck that shortens your appearance and makes your face look rounder. The deep V-neck? It's trying too hard to look young and ends up having the opposite effect. The sweet spot is a subtle scoop or a shallow V that creates just a hint of space between the fabric and your neck. This small detail does something powerful. It elongates your neckline and draws attention upward to your face instead of downward to your chest or stomach. And if you're wearing dress shirts, pay attention to your collar. A collar that's too wide will make your face look rounder. Too narrow, and you'll look like you're wearing your teenage son's shirt. The rule is simple. Your collar should be proportional to your face and complement your neck length. Here's the thing. These details seem small, but they create a cumulative effect. When everything is proportioned correctly, you look polished without anyone being able to put their finger on exactly why. Speaking of details that make a bigger impact than you'd expect. Mistake number 3. Wearing the wrong colors for your changing complexion. Here's something nobody talks about. Your skin tone changes as you age. Not dramatically, but enough that the colors that made you look vibrant at 25 might be washing you out at 45. And nothing ages a man faster than wearing colors that drain the life from his face. I see this constantly. Men sticking with the same color palette they've worn for decades, not realizing that their complexion has shifted. Maybe you've lost some of that natural ruddiness, or perhaps your hair has gone gray or white. These changes mean your best colors have evolved too. The most common mistake? Wearing colors that are too muted or washed out. That pale blue shirt that used to be your go-to might now be making you look tired or sick. That beige chino that seemed sophisticated. It could be making you blend into the background. Here's what works better. Colors with enough richness to complement your mature complexion. Think deeper blues instead of pale ones, charcoal instead of light gray, cream instead of stark white. These aren't bold or flashy colors, they're just rich enough to make your skin look healthy and vibrant. And if you're dealing with gray hair, you've actually got an advantage. Gray hair pairs beautifully with deeper, more sophisticated colors. Navy, burgundy, forest green, rich brown. These colors will make your silver hair look distinguished instead of aging. The easiest way to test this, hold different colored shirts up to your face in natural light. You'll immediately see which ones make your eyes brighter and your skin look healthier. Trust what you see. Your instincts are usually right. But here's where a lot of men get tripped up, even when they're choosing the right colors. Mistake number 4. Neglecting the details that show your age. You know what's interesting? Young men can get away with sloppy details because youth itself looks fresh. But once you hit 40, every small detail either adds to your sophistication or works against it. And the details most men ignore are exactly the ones that matter most. I'm talking about things like shoes that haven't been polished in months, shirts with frayed collars, pants with permanent creases in the wrong places, or, and this is a big one, clothes that smell like they've been sitting in the closet too long. Here's the reality. People notice these things subconsciously. They might not consciously think his shoes need polish, but they'll walk away with an impression that something was off. And that impression ages you more than any wrinkle or gray hair ever could. The fix is actually enjoyable once you make it a habit. Spend 5 minutes before you get dressed really looking at what you're putting on. Are there any loose threads? Does this shirt need to be steamed? When did I last polish these shoes? Do these pants need to go to the cleaner? And here's something every well-dressed man over 40 knows. Quality shoe cream and a steamer are two of the best investments you can make. A crisp shirt and polished shoes can make even a simple outfit look expensive. These small rituals also do something else. They put you in a more confident mindset. When you know every detail is taken care of, you carry yourself differently. People pick up on that energy. Now, even if you nail all these details, there's one mistake that can undermine everything. Mistake number 5. Choosing the wrong eyewear for your face. If you wear glasses, they're probably the most prominent accessory on your face. And if you're still wearing the same style frames you picked out 10 years ago, there's a good chance they're aging you more than you realize. Here's what happens. Your face changes over time. Maybe it's gotten a bit fuller, or perhaps it's gotten leaner. Your hair might be thinner or gray. These changes mean that frames that once complemented your face might now be fighting against it. The most common mistake I see? Men wearing frames that are too small for their mature face. Those narrow rectangular glasses that looked sharp in your 30s can make a fuller face look even rounder. Or frames that sit too low on your nose, which creates shadows under your eyes and makes you look tired. Here's what works better. Frames that are proportional to your current face, not your face from a decade ago. If your face has gotten fuller, slightly larger frames with clean lines can actually be more flattering. If you've lost weight in your face, you might be able to pull off more distinctive shapes that would have overwhelmed your younger features. And pay attention to color, those gold wire frames that seemed classic. They might be dating you now. Consider updating to frames in materials and colors that feel current. Rich, tortoiseshell, sophisticated black, or even a subtle gunmetal gray. If you don't wear glasses, the same principle applies to sunglasses. Those aviators or sport wraps from your younger days might not be doing you any favors. Classic shapes like Wayfarers or subtle rectangular frames tend to be more universally flattering as you age. Here's the thing, the right eyewear can actually make you look younger and more current. It's one of those investments that pays dividends every single day. But there's another accessory mistake that's even more subtle. Mistake number 6. Wearing accessories that fight your maturity. Accessories are tricky territory for men over 40. On one hand, the right accessories can add sophistication and personality to your look. On the other hand, the wrong ones can make you look like you're trying too hard to recapture your youth. I see this all the time. Men wearing accessories that worked when they were younger but now seem out of place. Maybe it's that chunky sports watch that's trying too hard to look rugged, or those flashy cufflinks that scream for attention, or even something as simple as a wallet chain that made sense at 25 but looks like a costume at 45. The key is understanding that your accessories should complement your maturity, not fight against it. This doesn't mean everything has to be boring or conservative. It means everything should feel intentional and appropriate for who you are now. A good rule of thumb: Your accessories should whisper, not shout. A quality leather watch with a clean face says more about your taste than a complicated chronograph with multiple dials. A simple wedding band or signet ring looks more sophisticated than multiple pieces of jewelry competing for attention. And here's something to consider. Sometimes the most powerful accessory choice is restraint. Maybe that means wearing one quality piece instead of 3 mediocre ones. Or maybe it means investing in a beautiful leather briefcase that will age gracefully instead of carrying the same backpack you've had for years. The goal isn't to look flashy, it's to look like a man who makes thoughtful choices. People respect that kind of quiet confidence. Speaking of confidence, there's one grooming mistake that undermines it more than any other. Mistake number 7, neglecting your grooming standards. Here's a hard truth. The grooming standards that worked in your 20s and 30s aren't enough anymore. Not because you're less attractive, but because good grooming becomes more noticeable and more important as you age. Think about it this way. When you're young, everything about you looks fresh and energetic. But as you mature, every detail of your grooming either adds to your distinguished appearance or detracts from it. There's less room for error, but also more potential for looking truly sophisticated. The most common mistakes I see: men who haven't updated their haircut in years, eyebrows that have gotten wild and unruly, nose hair that's visible, or skin that looks dry and neglected. These might seem like small things, but they add up to an overall impression of someone who's stopped caring about his appearance. Here's what makes a difference: a haircut that works with your current hairline and hair texture, not what you had at 30. Regular eyebrow trimming, not shaping like a woman, just keeping them neat. A basic skincare routine that keeps your skin from looking dry or tired. And paying attention to details like nose and ear hair that become more noticeable with age. The goal isn't to look younger, it's to look like the best version of yourself at your current age. And that version is well-groomed, intentional, and confident. Here's something interesting. Men who take care of these grooming details also tend to dress better overall. It's like one good habit supports another. When you feel well-groomed, you naturally want your clothes to match that standard. But even perfect grooming can't save you from this next mistake. Mistake number 8, sticking with outdated style formulas. Every man develops his personal uniform over the years, that go-to combination of clothes that feels safe and familiar. But here's the problem. What felt current and sharp 10 years ago might now be quietly dating you. I'm not talking about following teenage trends or wearing what your son wears. I'm talking about subtle updates to your tried and true formulas that keep you looking current and relevant. For example, maybe your weekend uniform has always been khakis and a polo shirt. Nothing wrong with that foundation, but the specific cut of those khakis, the fit of that polo, even the colors you choose. These details can make the difference between looking timeless and looking stuck in the past. Or maybe your work look is always the same. Navy suit, white shirt, conservative tie. Again, that's a solid foundation, but small updates, the lapel width on your jackets, the collar style on your shirts, the tie patterns you choose, can keep you looking sharp and contemporary. The key is evolution, not revolution. You don't need to throw out everything and start over. You just need to gradually refresh your go-to looks with more current cuts, updated fits, and maybe some fresh color choices. Here's how to approach it. Next time you need to replace something in your core wardrobe, spend a little extra time researching what the current version of that item looks like. Maybe try on a few different cuts or styles. You might be surprised at how much better updated versions look on you. The goal is to maintain your personal style while keeping it feeling fresh and current. You want people to think he always looks great, not he hasn't changed his look since 2010. But there's one area where men consistently get this balance wrong. Mistake number 9, misunderstanding casual wear after 40. Here's where a lot of men struggle, figuring out how to dress casually without looking sloppy or worse, like they're trying to dress like someone half their age. The truth is, casual dressing after 40 requires more thought, not less. I see two extremes constantly. Either men give up entirely and default to ratty t-shirts and cargo shorts, or they try to dress like college students with graphic tees and sneakers that scream for attention. Both approaches work against you. The secret is understanding that your casual wear should still reflect the same level of thoughtfulness as your more formal clothes. It just expresses it differently. Instead of a graphic t-shirt, maybe a quality plain tee, or Henley. Instead of cargo shorts, perhaps chinos or well-fitted jeans. Instead of beat-up sneakers, maybe clean white sneakers or leather loafers. Here's what elevated casual looks like. Clothes that are comfortable and relaxed, but still well-fitted and intentionally chosen. A quality sweater instead of a hoodie. Dark jeans instead of faded ones. Leather boots instead of running shoes when you're not actually running. The goal is to look like you're comfortable in your own skin while still showing that you care about your appearance. People should get the impression that you could easily transition from casual to more formal if needed, because you probably will need to at some point in your day. And here's something interesting. When you nail this balance, casual clothes actually become more versatile. That quality Henley can work for weekend errands and a casual dinner. Those dark jeans can handle everything from yard work to a casual business meeting. But even if you master casual wear, there's one final mistake that can undermine your entire look. Mistake number 10. Ignoring the power of confidence in your choices. Here's the biggest style mistake men over 40 make, and it's not about any specific piece of clothing, it's about confidence. Specifically, the lack of confidence in their style choices that comes from overthinking, self-doubt, or trying to be someone they're not. I see this constantly. Men who second-guess every outfit, who apologize for their appearance, or who try to blend into the background because they're not sure if they're doing it right. Or on the flip side, men who go overboard trying to prove they're still young and relevant. Here's the truth that every well-dressed man over 40 understands. Confidence in your choices is more important than any individual item you wear. A man who feels good about his appearance and owns his style decisions will always look better than someone wearing perfect clothes but feeling insecure about them. This doesn't mean being arrogant or ignoring feedback. It means making thoughtful choices about your appearance and then wearing those choices with quiet confidence. It means understanding that your style should reflect who you are now, not who you were or who you think you should be. The most attractive thing about a well-dressed man over 40 isn't his clothes. It's the sense that he's comfortable in his own skin and makes intentional choices about how he presents himself to the world. Here's how to build this confidence. Start with the basics we've covered today. Get the fit right. Choose appropriate colors. Pay attention to details. Update your grooming. Make thoughtful accessory choices. When you know these fundamentals are solid, you'll naturally feel more confident about your appearance. And remember, style confidence is like physical fitness. The more you work at it, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, making good style choices becomes second nature. And that's when you really start to look and feel your best. Look, the right clothes won't just change how others see you, they'll change how you see yourself. When you walk into a room feeling well-dressed and confident, it affects everything. How you speak, how you stand, how you interact with people. That confidence is magnetic, and it has nothing to do with age. You don't need to spend a fortune or follow every trend. You just need to be thoughtful about your choices and understand that small adjustments can make a massive difference in how you look and feel. If you found these tips helpful and want more style advice specifically for men over 40, hit that subscribe button. I'm constantly researching and testing new ways to help you look and feel your best at every stage of life. Now I'm curious, which of these 10 mistakes hit closest to home for you? Maybe it's something you've been wondering about, or maybe it's something you never even considered before today. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, and your feedback often becomes the inspiration for future videos. Remember, looking good isn't about trying to look younger. It's about looking like the best, most confident version of yourself right now. And that man, he's pretty impressive.